Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Chicagloand Toys, the show where we tell you what's going on and you listen, and you can call in. Tonight's a live show. We're at 312-738-1060. So, what did everybody do this weekend? I know what I did. I know what this guy did. This guy, let me tell you what Oscar did. Oscar met us after he went and had breakfast without us, never even told us. And you know what his excuse is all the time? Oh, you got to come to the meeting, and then you'll know. That's okay, Oscar. Had a nice big breakfast. What did we have for breakfast, Oscar?
Eggs and bacon.
I had an Egg McMuffin. That was it. Okay, so why did we have breakfast Sunday morning? You want to ask? Because Sunday was Toys for Tots. I know, and no hair goo. I know, Big Mike, don't call in and say a word. So Toys for Tots was Sunday. And for all you people that did not ride in the parade and sat home kicking yourselves in the ass on Sunday afternoon going, it turned out to be a nice day, I should have rode. Yeah, guess what? You should have rode. So we get there to set up. I'll run you through the whole day. The wife and I met Mr. Harper as we usually do. This year, first time we ever put up a pop-up, it was drizzling. And we put the pop-up up. We had some nice seats out there. Got ready, set up some barricades, got ready for Santa, got ready for the bikes. And I'm sitting there, and who comes popping up? Oscar. He comes up. We're at the Vry. Okay, this is at the Vry, the endpoint. Oscar, what's going on? He goes, oh, I just came from breakfast. Now I'm going down to 87th Street. So he came from breakfast. Didn't bring us anything, by the way. No coffee, nothing. He was on his bike. Yes, Oscar was on his bike. Our man in the street, Oscar, was on his bike. Went down to 87th Street, did the whole ride. Did you block Oscar or just rode?
Rolling blocker.
Rolling blocker. Oscar, the rolling blocker. Okay? That's a job. Let me tell you something about rolling blockers if you've never did it before. That's a job because everybody knows that the rolling blockers are coming up the sides and sometimes on your left side. They're trying to make sure that they're ahead of all the traffic so this way they can stop traffic. It's a hard job. If you don't know what you're doing, don't volunteer to do that one until you're a very well experienced rider. So now Oscar leaves us, and for the first time ever we did put up a pop-up. Never did it. This was my 39th year of doing Toys for Tots. Never put a pop-up. We just toughed it out, suck it up, get wet, get cold, get snowed on, have the icicles hanging from your mustache and your beard. We've been through it all. By the way, t-shirts one year, just t-shirts, sunny, 60-something degrees. We're out there having a good time. A lot of you guys that stayed home, shame on you. Bring the toys anyways. Send somebody with the toys. For all you people that were on Western Avenue, thank you for being on Western Avenue. There's no official count. So anybody that says they have an official count, unless you hear it from Toys for Tots, it's not true. My official count was exactly this. I saw 23 Santas. Yes, there was one main Santa and 22 imposters. They were there. So we did see 23 Santas that day. Anybody else tells you that there were 9 million bikes or 8 million bikes, they're full of crap. I got a caller, so put it through, Oscar.
Hi, yes, I was just wondering what the most important motorcycle safety issue is.
The most important motorcycle safety issue is left turns. People in cars making left turns in front of motorcycles that are still going straight. That's a big concern. Well, thanks for calling. That's a good question. Left turns, big safety concern for motorcyclists. Not being seen, big safety concern. And a big concern is not being heard. Danny, if you're watching tonight, I got to pick on you because we used to always, Danny went out and got a new bike, and we used to always ask him if his bike was running. Seriously, it was that low when it was sitting there idling. He went out and put some mega pipes on there. I don't know what he put on, Cobras or Vance and Hines. But if you're not heard, you're not seen, believe it or not. And sometimes with the blacked out windows and the radio turned up, they're not going to see you anyways. So a lot of different safety concerns, depends on where you're riding. If you're in the city, that's the biggest concern, left turns and people not looking and seeing you or hearing you. Out in the sticks, rural areas, deer. Little Tommy, if you're watching, what do deer do when you're coming down the road? They jump over you and try to kill you. Yeah, little Tommy and T, I believe the deer jumped between them, Oscar. They're going down Archer Avenue, right?
Yep.
2 years ago. Going down Archer Avenue, here's a deer. It decides to jump between them and take them both out. So they got hurt. They got hurt pretty bad. T was in the hospital for a while. Messed up that pretty face, but it's back. She's gorgeous again. Didn't do nothing to her butt, but still fine. Okay, skid a little. Tommy, can't mess him up. He's already messed up. But they did survive, and the deer, did the deer die, Oscar? Do you remember?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Or did it hop away? Tommy, if you're listening, or T, call in and we want to know what happened to the deer, honestly. I do. Because usually they get lamed up and wind up dying off anyway. That's a big concern. Also, our sport bike riders, we have a text, okay. TG says, deer is dead. Dead deer. So, T, would you call in, please? If I know you're watching because you just texted me when I asked you to. Call in. I really want to talk to you tonight, okay? Not about the butt. We know about that. That's fine. Everybody knows. Flowers, if you're watching, you can call in and make a comment. But we want to get like a little side story of what happened exactly. Because we were on the bikes. We got the call while we were riding, and it was bad. Everybody just stopped what they were doing. So that and the sport bike riders, they want to have lane splitting in Illinois. And they keep telling us that lane splitting is great, and they do it out in California, and they do it in these other states. But in California, they've been doing it for 20, 25 years. I don't know exactly how long they have been doing it. And the people in California that have licenses, they know about lane splitting there. In Chicago, if you split a lane in traffic in Chicago, I don't care if you're on Chicago Avenue, one of the expressways, if you're on Huron Street or Hamlin or Augusta, a small street, and you try to split a lane, you're going to die because that guy in that car wants to kill you because you're trying to go ahead of him. And we explained this downstate when we were in Springfield, that if you try to lane split in Chicago, you will die. Now, there was a video of a couple, they were on a Japanese motorcycle, I don't remember the make of it, and somebody had video of what happened, and there was this older guy in a car, and they went to go around him, and in a legal passing lane, you know, where the lanes, you know, dotted where you can pass, they went to go around him, and this guy literally ran him off the road into a ditch, and I believe the girl was killed. So, in Illinois, you split lanes, I don't care where you're at, you will die. Plain and simple. Is it a good practice? In California, obviously it is because they're used to it. And besides, I've been in California driving, and traffic don't do more than 10 miles an hour on the expressways out there. If you're on a 10 don't move. It just don't move. It's a parking lot. You got to get off and head down Sepulveda or something like that just to get around. Yeah, I remember the names of the streets, Oscar. In Ireland, they do split lanes, but they drive on the wrong side of the road. And we were out there. Junior was actually driving, and bikes were passing us, you know, they were going faster than we were because Junior's driving stick shift with his left hand on the wrong side of the car, and I couldn't do it. I had to let him do it. But the bikes out there, they're wearing helmets. I believe it's a law out there, and they're just flying by. They split lanes out there. It's like nothing. So it depends on where you're at. It really does. But for us in Illinois, if you split lanes, someone will try to kill you, and you will probably die or get hurt really bad. Now, any more safety questions, just give us a call. We'll try to answer it. If not, we'll make something up. I'm sure we've got answers, trust me. I did some more research on that electric 3D printed bike. Not gonna happen. From everything I read, after we went home from here last week or whenever we read this, I read it. This is 5 years down the road, 8 years down the road. I'm sure somebody's trying to do a prototype. Not gonna happen. So what we're gonna do with this, thank you for giving this to me, Mrs. Jones. That's never gonna come back up. What we do have is, if you're putting your bike up, now you did the Toys for Tots ride, and you're done for the year, or you think you're done for the year, because I seen 2 bikes out tonight on the way here, and full gear, they were riding. One was a sport bike, and one was, it was an Indian. Indian, right now, I'm starting to lean towards the Indian. Heated grips, heated seat. The windshield goes up and down, so you can adjust it. You can have that like sporty looking one, or you can have a full windshield. All kinds of other amenities on these bikes, and I believe they're less than a Harley Davidson. So I'm doing the lean, but I can't get rid of Big Blue. I love Big Blue. The Tour Pack, now they're saying that the Tour Pack has more room than the new Tour Pack, than the old Tour Pack, and that may be true, but what they did was they took, I think it was like a 22 by 30 inch Tour Pack, and they condensed it down. Instead of being about 10 inches high, now it's about 8 inches high, so it's lower. I don't think you can fit a helmet in there, although they say you can fit a skid lid in there, you know, the half helmet. Full face helmet, I don't believe is fitting in there. That's number one. So they took away from that. For why, I don't know. I don't know if it was for aerodynamics or, ooh, this looks cooler, but from what I know, nobody likes them. They put in wait, here's a great story. Hot Dog, everybody knows Hot Dog, right? You know Hot Dog? I know Hot Dog. We know Hot Dog. Hot Dog knows us. This is exactly what he told me. He went to Harley to buy his new Harley, because he buys one just about every year. He goes in there, and the guy takes him, and he's looking at the bike, and the salesman comes up, and he goes, hey, check this out. The coolest radio you ever seen, CD, speakers. You got speakers here. You got CB radio hookup. They got this new flap that opens to let wind come through. He goes, great bike. Hot Dog, typical Hot Dog, says, I don't give a about the radio. I want to know about the damn bike. And the guy was just trying to sell him on the radio, believe it or not. Oscar, how much now? 28? Roughly 26, 28,000 for an Ultra?
Maybe more. I haven't been pricing them.
Yeah, they're around that. You got a salesman trying to sell you on the radio, not telling you about the bike. 5-speed, 6-speed, 8-speed, 110 inch, nothing like that. Trying to sell the guy on a radio. Hot Dog's a little smarter than that, though. You know what Hot Dog did? He went and bought an Indian. You know, a real nice one. No hair. Went out and bought the Indian. So, Doc Joe. Doc Joe rode up on an Indian the other night. So, I'm getting a lean. I'm leaning, not because I'm big, but because I'm leaning towards looking at the Indians. The Scout's nice bike. I don't know what model Bob and Frank bought, but beautiful bikes. Love the decorations on them, you know, and plus the heated seats and grips. Really, that is a necessity, except in the summertime if you make sure you turn them off. Scraps, I think you put the heated grips on your bike, on his Ultra. I think he did. Yeah, that's cool, but I'd buy it built in. I don't like putting aftermarket something like that, because there's always something that could go wrong. Anyway, our next meeting, our membership meeting, is going to be our election night, which is going to be December 19th, about almost a week before Christmas. And by the way, we will not be doing a Christmas show because it's Christmas. So we have 2 shows left. If you want to get down, if you want to get your event on here, if you want to say something, if you want to come out here and vent, you better get down here. You better call us, because that's it. Wednesday, December 19th at the brewery, 3848 North Harlem, Chicago, Illinois. Come on out. You don't have to be a member. You do have to be a member to vote. You need to bring your membership card. And if you don't have your membership card, they can check you on the list to see if you get a ballot. As of right now, you got Oscar running for president. That's what I heard.
You're wrong.
Damn. I'm trying to get out of this, Oscar. You're not helping.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Oscar running for president.
Nope.
Danny running for vice president. And I believe somebody else was running for secretary. Oh yeah, Mrs. Jones. That's right. So
She's unopposed.
she's gonna kill you, Oscar. One night we're getting Oscar in here. Before the next two shows are over, Oscar will be in here. If we gotta drag him in there. So, December 19th, come on out. Come out to the brewery. Cast your votes. And I know it's gonna be a tight race. We've been knocking on doors, you know. Oscar's been getting petitions signed for himself to be president. And I think he's gonna do it. Unless Preckwinkle challenges his, because she's challenging everybody else's right now. And it costs money to challenge. Yes, we do know. Speaking of Toni Preckwinkle, she's running for mayor of the city of Chicago. And honestly, I say this with the most respect. I hope she wins. I really do, because I think Chicago's ready for a female mayor. Jane Byrne, she was good, but I think President Preckwinkle, she'll kick some ass in the city. She will. She'll straighten them out. Anyways, that's our political spiel. And we want to say a big shout out to former president, passed the other day, George Herbert Walker Bush. Mr. President, Godspeed. I thought you were a great president myself. You know, that's my opinion, not A.B.A.T.E's opinion. So, you know, I love the guy. I think he was one of the greatest guys that ever served as president. From the age of 20 or 19, he was in military service and just worked his way through the whole system. CIA director, president. He had a son that was a president. Barbara Bush, she had to be the proudest mother in the whole entire world. I gotta tell you, to have a husband as a president, a son as a president, and I think her other son is governor. Is he a governor? Jeb?
He was governor of Florida.
Governor of Florida, Jeb Bush. So, a lot of family in politics. I believe they rival the Kennedys, except they never killed nobody that I know of. Don't forget, the president was in the CIA, so we don't know. But a lot of respect for that man. I loved him as a president. I loved him as a person. Great family. And like I said, Chappaquiddick, not in the Bush's vocabulary. Just saying, you know, beat somebody with a golf club. You never seen him do it. So, Kennedys, they give you a run for their money. In politics, we don't really have anything coming up, but we do have our state seminar coming up in January. That will be Please stand by. January 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's down in Springfield at the Northfield, and that's across from the Springfield Ramada. If you want to sign up, you can go online, sign up through the state's website, A.B.A.T.E.il.org. You can get more information about the state seminar if you want to learn to be an officer, if you want to learn what officers do, if you want to learn what your chapter does, or if you want to learn how to actually start a chapter. Come on down. You'll find out. And I will be in my usual room with a lot of booze, getting a lot of people drunk, making a lot of people fall down, hot tub, king-size bed, throwing everybody out at 2, 3 in the morning, so this way I can actually get to one of these breakout sessions. On Friday night and Saturday night, they have two fundraisers, the A.B.A.T.E pack and or state pack and Fed pack. So there's two fundraisers those 2 nights, and all that money goes for our the candidates that we support, for buying ads, sending people to their events, and all kinds of other great stuff that we do. if you want to learn more about that, if you want to become a member of the PAC, and you're a member of A.B.A.T.E, no matter what chapter you're in, you can send a resume, I'd like to join the PAC. Here's my background, how long I've been in A.B.A.T.E and what chapter I'm from. You never know, they may put you on the PAC, and then you have to do work. So that's not a bad thing though. The PAC does a lot. We get a lot of information before everybody else does. A lot of politicking through the PAC, so come on down. Come and learn how to do that. If you come to one of our meetings, like the one we're going to have on the 19th, I can explain more to you, get more in depth if that's what you want to learn about. If you want to get politically involved with A.B.A.T.E, we have legislative directors in our chapters, and they're always looking for assistance, send you to Springfield. We do have Legislative Day. That's usually March or April. It depends on what's going on downstate. We'll have more about that, but I don't believe we'll have it before it's time to be there. So in the next couple weeks, if we get more information, I'll give it to you. And Legislative Day, we go down, you check in, and you go into this room at the State House Inn, and there's all these folders that look like this. And they've got senators' names and state representatives' names. You take these folders, and when you look at them, you see Duquesne's stack is this high, Will County stack is about that high, and Chicago's stack is about that high. And thanks to Duquesne, the last few years, they've been taking a bunch of ours, and you go and visit all of these politicians' offices. Hopefully they're in that day, and ask to meet with them. If we have any legislation going on that we'd like to talk to them about, just discuss it. 2-3 minutes, shake their hands, thank them, thank their secretaries, man or woman, whatever it is, thank them, because without them, they don't get the messages, and we call down there a lot. So they do they're a big important part of the legislative process. Secretaries, the pages and all of that, thank them all. And let them know what we got going on, and they respect us. We get a lot of invites back. Then we have a party afterwards. They come out, we drink, we listen to a band. Don Harmon's band played last year, and believe it or not, Don Harmon's a senator, right? Tore it up. What a great band. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was listening to the radio. That's how great they were. So, come out to the meeting. Get yourself some of these. There's all kinds of free stickers and stuff when you come out. Start sharing the road. Like I told you, the backwards one, but I can't show it because it don't show up. These, and these here, those are made by the state. Okay? If you go to startseeingmotorcycles.org, like the website on this one, this is where you can get your free riding class. The free riding class is free. They take a $20 deposit. You get your M classification. After you do that, they give you your money back. It's just really to hold your spot. If you don't want the money back, a lot of people just give it back. They donate it back. That's fine, or buy a t-shirt or something. But that money is there because when you renew our license plates, our stickers and that money comes out of there into that fund. That money stays in a fund until it's ready to be used for stuff like this, the motorcycle riders program, or you just go over to Harley and pay $300, $400, $500, $600 and take theirs. It's not free, it's not cheap, it's not $20 just to hold a place for you, but you'll get your M license. And speaking of that, they wanted to have, Harley Davidson wanted us to allow the Secretary of State to have a representative there and just issue licenses. So we put the poo-poo on that. We met with Harley Davidson. They came out to some of our political meetings down south when we were in Springfield, and we told the representative from Harley Davidson that we didn't want to have nothing to do with that. That would just make Harley Davidson have people coming there, not just to buy bikes, but to get a free license. So, nah, we didn't let that happen. And I don't know if it's still on the table. I'd have to talk to Ski. He's our legislative director for the state. You know what? I might ask him, and we'll talk about that next time. So, what I'm gonna do is get ready to wrap this show up. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna come back next week. We're really gonna wow you, because by next week I should have more information about the state seminar and the legislative day down in Springfield. So, for me, from Oscar, and me, and Oscar, I say goodnight.